Richmond, Virginia, in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, was a city of deep divides. The rules of segregation were everywhere, like invisible walls separating people based on the color of their skin. For black families, these rules meant facing daily challenges. It was harder to find good jobs, to live in certain neighborhoods, or even to get a quality education. The world often told them no, simply because of who they were. This was a difficult time, a time when hope could feel very far away. But even in the hardest of times, heroes rise up. This is a story about one of those heroes. In the middle of this challenging world stood a man named Reverend Horace Gillison. He was a leader, and a friend to everyone he met. He saw the struggles his neighbors faced every single day. He saw the unfairness and the pain it caused. But instead of feeling defeated, Reverend Gillison felt a powerful calling to make a change. He believed that everyone deserved a chance to succeed, to build a good life, and to be treated with dignity and respect. He knew he couldn't change the whole world overnight, but he could start right there, in his own community, one person at a time. Christian Charities became more than just a ministry, it became a beacon of hope. Reverend Gillison's work began in the heart of the black community, but his work went far beyond teaching but creating jobs. Reverend Gillison rolled up his sleeves and got to work. He understood that faith was important, but faith needed action to truly make a difference in people's lives. He started thinking of practical ways to help his community overcome the obstacles of segregation. His mission was simple but powerful, to lift people up. He believed that economic independence was a key to freedom and self-respect. If people had good jobs, they could support their families and build stronger communities. So, he didn't just pray for change, he created it. He became a community organizer, a job creator, and a tireless advocate for his people. He knew that by helping one person, you could inspire many. His energy was contagious, and his vision for a better Richmond began to spread, touching the lives of countless individuals who were looking for a reason to believe in a brighter tomorrow. Reverend Gillison's mission was to help black women find better opportunities. In the 50s and 60s, jobs for women of color were limited, often just domestic work. Reverend Gillison believed they deserved more. He started a job training program to teach office skills and build confidence. Women learned typing, office management, and how to be professional secretaries. Gillison also helped them find jobs with companies willing to hire based on skill. This changed lives, offering better pay and pride. Their children saw new possibilities. Gillison built bridges with both black and white leaders in Richmond. His network opened doors and created lasting opportunities. Reverend Gillison started asking people to donate cars, boats, trucks for tax credit. This had never been done before. He opened the first car lot that only sold donated cars. He opened a used car lot on West Broad Street, then moved it to Chamberlain Ave, and he took that money to help families all over the city. He saw that many families needed basic things like clothing, furniture, and household goods but couldn't afford them. So, he started a charity thrift store. This wasn't just any store. It was a place where people could find quality items at very low prices. Everything in the store was donated by others in the community who wanted to help. The store became a hub of activity, a place where neighbors helped neighbors. It provided essential goods for families in need and also created jobs for people who worked in the store. At the same time, many families in his community couldn't afford a car, which made it hard to get to work or take children to school, so some of the cars he would finance at a low payment or give them away. This simple idea was revolutionary. It gave people mobility, freedom, and access to better opportunities. This car program was a huge success. It showed Reverend Gillison's talent for finding simple solutions to big problems. He saw a resource that was being wasted, old cars, and connected it with a community that had a great need. This program became well known throughout Richmond, and people from all walks of life, both black and white, donated their cars for tax credit. They knew their donation would go directly to helping a family get back on its feet. It was another example of how Reverend Gillison brought the entire city together to support a common cause, building bridges of compassion and understanding. Perhaps one of Reverend Gillison's bravest acts was his fight against housing segregation. At that time, black families were not allowed to buy homes in many of Richmond's neighborhoods. One of these areas was Byrd Park, a beautiful neighborhood with lovely homes. Reverend Gillison believed this was wrong. He dreamed of a day when people could live wherever they could afford to, regardless of their race. He decided to challenge this unfair system directly. His actions would take immense courage and would help pave the way for a more integrated and just city for everyone who called Richmond home. The moment of truth came when Reverend Gillison sold a house in the all-white Byrd Park neighborhood to a black family. This was a direct and powerful challenge to the unwritten rules of segregation. Reverend Gillison sold the house, making them the first black family to own a home in Byrd Park. This single act sent a clear message across the city. The walls of segregation were beginning to crumble and a new era of equality was dawning. This historic event was not easy. It took great courage from Reverend Gillison. He faced resistance and fear, but he stood firm. Their bravery opened the door for other black families to move into neighborhoods that had once been closed to them. Reverend Gillison showed that one person with enough conviction and courage could make a real difference in the fight for civil rights. He wasn't just selling a house, he was selling a vision of a more inclusive future for Richmond, one where all children could grow up with the same opportunities to live in safe and welcoming communities. Reverend Horace Gillison's story is one that is too often left out of the history books. He was not a famous politician or a national figure. He was a local pastor, a community leader who saw a need and dedicated his life to meeting it. His legacy is not found in grand monuments, but in the lives he touched, the women he trained for new careers, the families he helped with his thrift store, the people he provided with transportation, and the doors he opened for fair housing. His work helped build a stronger, more just community for everyone. He is a true unsung hero of Richmond. Remembering Reverend Gillison's story is so important. It fills us with hope and pride. It reminds us that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. It teaches us that change doesn't always come from the top down. It often starts from the ground up with people who care about their neighbors. His life is an inspiration, a call to action for all of us to look around our own communities and ask, how can I help? By sharing his story, we keep his spirit alive and honor the incredible legacy of a man who spent his life building a better world, one person at a time.